All right, guys. So once you've gone through, okay, and you've done the $4 question, and just give it a sec for it to load up. I just had to restart the needs analysis. So remember, we asked the $4 question when we click submit. All right. We don't go through any of this summary here with the client. This is so you guys know what's to come. All right. So you guys know what's to come. Now, you could see you have final expenses, FE. GIO is guaranteed insurability option with the final expense. So that's a rider on the final expense protection. IP is income protection. MP is mortgage. CE down here is college education protection. And then CR is child rider. If you have any child, it'll automatically add the child rider. Remember, not all of these benefits will be shown for every situation. For example, if a client has or if they don't have a mortgage, it won't show mortgage. Okay, we will go through the products with each of these benefits later today or another day, but for the sake of time and just this lesson, I want to show you what the screens are going to look like following the needs analysis. So we'll click continue. We get to the mandatory read-off letter. Now the mandatory read-off letter, guys, does have its own paper copy. So if you're sitting with the union, it will still show this electronic copy right here, which is a union, but it will also have the paper copy. Read the paper copy. A few reasons why. A little bit more professional. It has their union letterhead on it. It's also endorsed by their elected official, whether it's the president, business executive, vice president, X, Y, and Z. So it has them signed off on the mandatory read-off letter. A lot more official. If you're sitting with a referral, this screen will still pop up. The wording is probably about 90% the same. Okay, obviously not mentioning that they're in a union and blah, blah, blah. However, they still have to make the decision today because, they were referred into the program. So you would read through the read-off letter with a referral, and then you would go through. So basically, here's the way it works. If as I'm going through these benefits, the same way, all right, whether it's a union or a referral, you always go through. So basically, here's the way it works, the same exact way. All right, remember, we're treating them like they are a member today because they were referred into the program. And they're lucky that they even got referred into the program. Have that mindset. All right, so once we've gone through that, so basically, all right, we're going to go to continue. Now, I like to just use the space bar to click continue from here on out. So Joe, Mary, let's examine your need for final expense protection. I click space bar. All right, video plays. Now, after the video plays, if you look at your IRT verbiage on page 44 and starting, all right, it says play video, and then it says, does that make sense, Joe and Mary? I want to make sure that after every video, I ask them, does that make sense? Because I want to make sure it makes sense. I don't want there to be any confusion as we go along through some numbers. So I don't click continue until I get an agreement that it makes sense. Once they say yes, we click continue. Now we're going to walk them through their coverage. This is called the recap. Okay? There's two ways that people buy, guys, emotionally and logically. This is the logical part of the sale with the numbers. The emotion is in the intro and the tie down of each of these four benefits that we're going to go through. Okay? So, I'm reading right from the script, guys. Just like the video said, the average cost of final expenses is $15,000. However, due to inflation over the next 20 to 30 years, they recommend $30,000 for each of you. Now, currently, you have no existing permanent coverage to take care of this need. So you both need the full $30,000. Right, that's exactly what they're going to provide you today. Does that make sense, Joe? Mary? All right. And I'm sure you guys can see how important this benefit is when something happens to you, correct? Perfect. So I'm going through, you notice how they recommend this amount and I'm circling it with my mouse. You're going to be circling that with your pen. This is your existing. So you need this. It's the exact amount they're going to provide you today. And I say, does that make sense? Because I want to make sure the numbers make sense again. All right, then I go through my tie down. I'm sure you can see how important this benefit is when something happens to you. Correct. And I get another agreement. The more they say yes, the more they agree. It's like a ticker symbol Just getting closer and closer to that sale, okay? Plus, I want to make sure that there is no confusion. Once again, address everything proactively. So when you get to the closing page with prices, everything was proactively agreed upon and taken care of and explained properly. This is where you actually make the sale, we consider. Okay, we're going to go to the next benefit. So I've clicked spacebar to continue. Joe, Mary, how important is it for you to earn a paycheck next week? As a matter of fact, if your family went a couple weeks without your paycheck, probably put them in a financial bind, correct? Excellent. Let's examine your need for monthly income protection. Video plays. I'm going to skip the video. All right, before we click continue, does that make sense, Joe? Mary, perfect. Now, Mary, do you see how important it is to have Joe's income protected? Or if I'm referencing both of them because they make pretty much an equal income, I would say, Joe, Mary, do you guys see how important it is to have each other's income protected? Great. Agreements. All right. Now, here we're going to see some different numbers here. All right. This 5-year all the way to the left is the value of their income over the course of 5 years. So, for example, 60,000, that means that they make, if my math is correct, 12,000 maybe. It's 12 times 5, 60. It might be, you guys get what I'm saying though. Let's say somebody made 100,000, 5 years is 500,000. Okay. So they're going to always have different amounts here because everyone pretty much makes different income. If it's similar, it's usually not exactly the same. So I'm going to explain each person differently. So I'm going to go with Joe first. And right from the script, I'm not overcomplicating anything. Joe, just like the video said, they recommend 5 full years of your income protected at about $260,000. Currently, you have no existing coverage to take care of this need, so you need the full $260,000. That's exactly what they're going to provide you today. Does that make sense, Joe? Great. Mary, for you, they also recommend 5 full years of your income protected at $60,000. Currently, you have no existing coverage to take care of this need. So, Mary, you need the full $60,000. That's exactly what they're going to provide you today, Mary. Does that make sense? Great. And I'm sure you can see how vitally important it is to make sure your family continues the same lifestyle. God forbid you're taken out of the picture prematurely, correct? Excellent. Notice how I round up Joe's income? Just round it to the nearest. I also am not mentioning anything about 10-year RNC. That's the product that we sell them. That's a 10-year term product. We're going to go through products if we haven't already. All right. One thing to make a note of about those guys is we really don't get into too much details about it. If the client asks, we will tell them. The video does tell the client that it's term insurance that they're buying. But somebody's not going to get latched onto the fact that they're buying 10-year renewable convertible term. What they do get attached to is the fact that if they die tomorrow, their income's protected for 5 full years. So you're going to hear us say this a lot. Guys, with our product, the simple truth is people buy the concept and they latch onto the concept of what they're protecting much more than the product itself. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go forward. Let's go to mortgage. All right. Joe, if you were to die tomorrow, wouldn't you want to make sure your family's home is secure? Let's examine your need for mortgage protection. Now, remember, mortgage is only going to be shown on the primary. So whoever made more income on the needs analysis is the primary. So if Mary's the primary, I would say with her name, Mary, if you were to die tomorrow, wouldn't you want to make sure your family's home is secure? Let's examine your need for mortgage protection. Video plays. All right, does that make sense, Joe and Mary? Excellent. Now, Mary, if Joe were to die tomorrow, wouldn't it give you peace of mind to know that you and the kids don't have to worry about losing your home? Or if Mary was the breadwinner, the primary, I would say, Joe, if Mary were to die tomorrow, wouldn't it give you peace of mind to know that you and the kids don't have to worry about losing your home? Great. So just like the video said, all right, they recommend $230,000 to protect your mortgage. As you can see, you have no existing coverage to take care of this need, so you need the full $230,000. That's exactly what they're going to provide you today. Make sense, Joe and Mary? All right. And obviously, once again, you can see how important it is to have this protection in place. Excellent. All right. Once again, this is a 30-year mortgage right here, but we're not explaining that because it says it's term in the video. And then last one, guys, is college. Now, just like I explained with the products lesson, if you haven't gone through this with me yet, we'll get there shortly. Sometimes mortgage and or college will be shown by protecting with accidental death benefit, which stands for ADB products. So the reason why it shows them, remember, is because they can't afford to protect their college or their mortgage with term. So they're going to protect it with accidental. Now, basically what the computer's telling me is, would you like to display ADB products? You will always click yes. What it's also telling me is, hey, Kaz, listen, the next benefit here is going to be shown in the form of accidental death benefit. So just so you guys know, all right, what this looks like when it happens. So we're going to play the video. All right, introduce it. Obviously, Joe, Mary, your children's education is important to you. Here's a video that will explain more about that. Video plays. All right. Makes sense, Joe and Mary? Excellent. Now, just like the video said, they recommend $100,000 to protect each of your kids' income, or excuse me, college, if you were to die in an accident. So I tag on that little line, if it's ADB product, if you were to die in an accident. It doesn't say it in your little script on page 45. You just say, just like the video said, they recommend $100,000 to take care of each of your kids' education if you were to die in an accident. As simple as that. All right. So you can see you have no existing permanent coverage to take care of this need. So you need the full $100,000. That's exactly what they're going to provide you today. And I think I said permanent coverage. That's my fault. You have no existing coverage to take care of this need, so you need $100,000. That's exactly what they're going to provide you today. Probably goes without saying how important this is, right, Joe and Mary? Excellent. Does this all make sense so far? Perfect. We're going to wrap it up for here. That's our IRTs, and then the next one will be on down closing.